Hi guys, my name is Terry and I'm here to take you through your calming and toning series. Thank you for joining me today. So we're going to start at the top of our mats. We're going to start standing and work with our breath. So gently start to come towards the top of your mats and just start to release your shoulders down your back and just start to clear your mind of any thoughts now. So start to notice that natural breath and just tuck that chin slightly. Don't make no changes to your breath yet. Just start to inhale and exhale fully here. Give yourself a few moments just to connect with this breath. Release those shoulders back, release any tension. So begin to start to release any thoughts from your mind. There's no thoughts on what you're doing after you've taken this class, and there's no thoughts on what you were doing before class. So begin to start to become more conscious of your breath now. Start to deeply inhale and exhale through that nose. And feel the expansion of that spine with every breath you take. So on that inhale, that belly rises, that rib cage follows, and take that breath all the way to those collarbones and really expand and lengthen there. So you're going from your root all the way to your crown. And then as you exhale, just notice as that body releases. Emptying that mind of any thoughts now. So beginning to start to pull up that pelvic floor now and start to connect that bandha backwards. So we're using our bandhas, our Mula Bandha and Uddiyana Bandha, which is our stomachs, our core. Gently start to lift those kneecaps and start to stand tall within your Tadasana, within your mountain pose. Every inhalation, you're still connecting with your breath, you're still clearing your mind. There's no thoughts there, guys. Just release and let them go. So let's take in a few sun salutations now. So on your inhale, start to bring your prayer above your head and lift your gaze. Start to exhale, inject your hips as you bring it all the way down your midline, coming through to your Uttanasana, your forward fold. If your hands don't quite meet the mat, just take a bend here, keeping tummy to thigh contact. If not, coming up onto your fingertips. On your inhale, we look forward, we grow tall in our flat back. As you exhale, start to inch again as you bring your nose towards your knees. We're still warming here, guys, so don't overstretch. Step that right foot back, followed by that left, coming into your downward facing dog. Inhale, rolling it forward into your high plank, lowering your knees, your chest, chin all the way down towards your mat. Snaking through, coming through to your baby cobra, and let's send it back to that downward facing dog. Look forward, step that right foot forward, followed by that left, coming back into Uttanasana. Bending your knees, reverse swan diving your prayer, eye towards your sky, and bringing it all the way back down towards your heart space. Inhale, growing tall, take your prayer high and follow with your gaze. Exhale as you inject your hips and you forward fold, come back through to your Uttanasana. Lift your gaze, flat back, extend. As you exhale, nose towards your knees. Step that left foot back, followed by that right, and just come into that downward dog first of all. Inhale, roll forward, high plank. Lower your knees, your chest, chin, all the way through, opening your heart space, sending it back, downward facing dog. Look forward, step that left foot forward. Take that right to meet that left and come into your Uttanasana at the front of your mat. Micro bend your knees as you reverse swan dive your prayer high towards the sky, coming all the way back through, standing tall within your Tadasana. Inhale, grow tall within your prayer, really expand there. As you exhale, forward fold, coming through to your Uttanasana. Start to pigeon toe your feet so they're hip width apart. So you may need to bend your knees to be able to touch your toes. So we're going to create our yogi bind, which is our two-piece fingers and our thumb. Place them around those toes. If you've got bent knees, you're working at straightening here. If your legs are straight, you're starting to pull on your yogi bind to start to bring yourself deeper within your pose. So inhale, look forward, flat back. As you exhale, start to float it forward, nose comes towards those knees. Let's move with that breath. Inhale, float it forward, flat back, extend. Exhale, start to fold. One more. Inhale, open that gaze, we lift, flat back. Exhale, start to forward fold. Now start to pull on your big toes, and your biceps should be bulging as you're starting to bring your nose towards your knees, starting to pull a bit tighter and taking a bit more depth towards your forward fold. And move with your breath. Every inhalation creates a space. As you exhale, start to take that space, so you're moving within our breaths. If you want more, place your hands around the back of your calves, create a bind and really fold yourself in half here. If your knees are bent, you're still working on just gently straightening them here. So you've got the choices, so take your choices. So we're going to bring our ankles together, we're going to bring our knees together. Start to deeply bend your knees as you take a deep inhale, dip your sit low. As you start to bring your arms up and above, coming into your Utkatasana, your chair pose. So don't collapse in that chest. I'd rather have you up a little bit higher and your chest nice and high. We're holding here. This is your fierce pose, guys. I'm doing it with you, so I'm feeling your pain. We're inhaling and we're keeping our mind calm with every exhale we take. So take a quick look down towards your knees and your ankles and make sure they're still in one long line. Every exhalation, see if you can sit your seat that little bit deeper here. And you can bring your prayer together, or you can have your hands separated. There's a soft curling to those fingertips, and those little fingers are pointing towards each other. We're holding for 3. Stay calm, stay with me for 2. Inhaling, exhaling for 1. Take one more deep inhalation. As you exhale, hands towards your mat as you forward fold. Start to pigeon toe your feet so they're now hip width back apart. Recultivate your yogi bind and place them around your big toes. On your inhale, let's move with your breath. Open your heart space. As you exhale, start to forward fold, seeing if you can go deeper. Inhale, we halfway lift, flat back. Then we start to pull on those toes as you draw yourself closer. One more. Inhale, float with your breath, open halfway lift. As you exhale, start to really draw your nose towards your knees as you fold your deepest. Knowing that you can bring your hands around the back of your calf as you start to fold yourself in half here. Gently breathe in with every inhalation, create a bit of space within our bodies. As you exhale, you start to deepen. So gently start to release that bind now if you've binded. Bring your ankles back together, bring your knees back together. You know where this is going. Inhale, start to deeply bend your knees, drop your seat and raise your arms high, coming back into your Utkatasana, coming back into your chair pose. Keep your mind nice and calm with every breath you take. So inhale, exhale, release that little bit deeper within your posture. Make sure that you're sending those shoulder blades down. There's no tension in your mind. Inhaling, exhaling for 3. Inhale, exhale fully for 2. Seat a little bit lower, test yourself. Inhale, exhale. Take one more deep inhalation, hands come down to frame that front foot. Start to step that left foot back, followed by that right, coming into your downward facing dog. On your next inhalation, roll forward. We meet in our high plank, either lowering knees, chest, chin, or coming through chaturanga. Inhale prepares you. Exhale, we lower, rolling over your toes, opening your heart space, sending it back, downward facing dog. 2 more. Let's create a little bit of fire. Inhale, roll forward. Exhale, release. Opening your heart space and sending it back, downward facing dog. Taking one more. Inhale, we roll forward. Exhale, we release. Open your heart space. Take it back, downward facing dog, and just breathe here. Maybe start to pedal out those feet and move your head from side to side, releasing any tension. So ground down into your left leg.
And we're going to raise that right leg high towards the sky, coming into our three-legged dog. On your next inhalation, start to bring that knee towards your nose, rolling forward. As you exhale, you extend. Right knee comes towards that right elbow, aim it nice and high. Exhale, we extend. So right knee comes over towards that left and we twist here. As you exhale, send it high. Take your gaze forward and let's step that right foot through. Dropping on that back heel, we inhale and we rise into our Virabhadrasana 1, Warrior 1. So making sure that your hips are nice and forward, your foot is at a 45-degree angle. You've got a nice deep bend to your front quad. So now start to release those shoulder blades down that back. And there's no tension in your mind. So your hands can be nice and parallel, or bring them together in your prayer. Taking your gaze forward and maybe take a slight arch there. You're breathing in and out, steady breaths. Inhaling and exhaling fully. Now see if you can dip a little bit deeper within that front quad. Take another deep inhalation, and as you exhale, we're opening out, Virabhadrasana 2. So I'm just going to turn around, guys, so you can just see the pose from the other side. So we're sitting nice and deep within that front knee. Your back leg is nice and straight, and your back leg is nice, and your foot is nice and parallel to the short edge of your mat. Bring your arms up like a letter T and sit nice and deep within your pose. Taking your gaze towards that front middle finger, and that's your drishti point here. So everyone try to deepen a little bit more within that front knee. You're more flexible than you think. We're using your breath, inhaling and exhaling fully. So flip your palm, take your weight forward first. Left hand comes to left quad or down towards that calf, and we're reversing our warrior here. There's no change to those front legs. Your legs are still in your warrior 2 base. You're just shifting your torso, taking your gaze towards your palm or towards your elbow crease. And use your breath to stay nice and calm here for 1. Inhaling and exhaling for 2. If your body is agitated, just take it back towards that breath. Take 1 more deep inhalation. As you exhale, bring it all up, Virabhadrasana 2. Start to straighten within that front leg. Flip your palms, take your weight forward and wimble that right hand down, left hand above, coming into your triangle pose, your Yoga Teacher Trikonasana. So you might be here, collapsing here, so just bring that hand further up. We're trying to revolve and opening that torso. It's not about touching the mat, it's about being nice and open within the side of that body. So sometimes less is more. So making sure that your arm is here and your chest is nice and open, than rather trying to go for that toe bind. Keep your gaze towards that lifted palm and feel that nice extension. So you put that heaven to earth contact here. So you should be feeling that stretch all the way up that right. So take your gaze down towards your right foot. Micro bend your knees. Use a deep inhale. As you exhale, bring it all the way back up. Rebending that right knee, coming back into your Virabhadrasana 2. Seeing if you can go even deeper second time round. Keeping your gaze forward and make sure both arms are nice and active. So you're pulling forward with your fingertips and you're pulling backwards with your left hand. So you're feeling those 2 lung lines of energies if you're being pulled forward and back. Windmilling your arms to frame that front foot. We turn on that back foot. You're in your nice runner's lunge. Shoot your right foot to meet your left. You're in your high plank. Take a deep inhale. As you exhale, chaturanga. Rolling over your toes, upward facing dog. Sending it back, downward facing dog. So take your gaze forward and you can step, jump or float to the front of your mat. Deeply bend your knees as you raise your prayer high, coming back into your Yukatasana for your final time, guys. So make it the best. Just take a quick glance down, make sure your knees and ankles are in one straight line. Release those shoulders down that back, be nice and open within your chest and sit your seat nice and low. We're holding for 3. Use your breath. Your mind will give up way before your body needs to. You're stronger than you think for 2. Inhaling, exhaling fully. Inhale,
exhale, on your next inhalation, bring your hands down to frame your front foot. Step that left foot back, followed by that right. You're in your high plank. Take a deep inhale to prepare. Push away at your mat. Be active as you chaturanga down on knees, chest, chin. Rolling over your toes and sending it back, downward facing dog. So grounding down into your right foot, we're going to raise that left leg high. Take your gaze forward and step that left foot through. Starting to drop that back foot, we rise into our Virmadrasana 1. So we're sitting nice and deep within our stance here. Just like before, your back leg is nice and strong. Your front leg is nice and parallel to your mat, and your hips are nice and forward. Releasing any tension from that shoulders, releasing any tension from your mind. Take a deep inhale, and as you exhale, we're going to open it out into our warrior 2 position here. I'm just going to turn around to the other side so you can see me, guys. So just make sure that that left leg is nice and forward. There's a nice wide stance. So that back leg is nice and straight, and it's parallel to the short edge of your mat. Making sure your hips are nice and squared as you sit deep into that pose. Taking your gaze forward as we deepen into our stance, inhaling and exhaling fully. So try to always sit nice and low within your pose, and your back arm and your front arm is in one straight line, and you're feeling those 2 long lines of energy. Begin to flip your palm. Take your weight all the way forward first, and then reverse your warrior. Making sure that you've still got those nice warrior 2 bases, and take your gaze towards your palm. Staying strong within your mind and staying strong within your breath. Every breath you're trying to go deeper within that side bend. Taking one more deep inhalation, and as you exhale, we're rising it all the way back up into our warrior 2. Maybe widening that stance a little bit and going that little bit deeper second time round. So begin to start to straighten that front leg, flip those palms, wimble that left arm down, coming back into your Utthita Trikonasana on your other side. Putting into practice what we know, so we want that nice opening here towards our chest. We're trying to stack that right hip directly on top of that left, and your gaze is lifted towards your right arm. Inhaling and exhaling fully here, using your breath. And really opening out within those legs. Take one more deep inhalation, exhale fully. Take your gaze down towards your left foot, micro bend your knee as you rise all the way back up to center. Take a deep bend to that front knee as you come through to your Virmadrasana 2, widening and going a little bit deeper this time. Using your breath, inhaling and exhaling fully. So wimble your hands to frame that front foot. We turn on that back foot as we shoot that left to meet that right. We're coming back into your high plank. Inhale prepares you. As you exhale, chaturanga or knees, chest, chin. Rolling over your toes and shooting it back, downward facing dog. Taking your gaze forward and either step, jump or float to the front of your mat. Start to deeply bend your knees as you start to reverse swan dive your prayer high towards the sky, coming all the way down into your Tadasana, back through down towards your mountain pose. Going through to a quick balance before we make it back down onto our mats. So begin to start to take your weight into your left foot, and we're just going to raise that right knee towards us. So you can stay here, this is your choice, or you can start to bring your yogi bind round to that big toe. Bringing that left hand towards that left hip, and you're staying here. If you want more, start to kick that right leg out. You may be able to do this position with a strap, guys. Make sure that right elbow's back and that left elbow's forward. So gently, if you're wanting more, extending your left arm out, take your gaze to follow. Using your breath, you're standing tall within your Tadasana leg. Start to begin to take that left hand towards that right foot now, and you're just switching hands and you're taking your right arm behind. Make sure your cores are engaged and shift that gaze, test yourself. And if you come out of posture, come back in, you've got plenty of time. It's how our bodies learn. Start to bring your right hand back to meet your right toe and bring your left hand towards your hip. Draw that right knee back in towards you, and with gentle ease release your grip and just start to bring it back down to your mat. Shake out any tension. Good news for you guys, we get to do it again on the other side. So let's ground down onto that right leg. You've got that nice strong base there, and we're starting to bring that left knee in towards us. Just hug it here. So this could be where you're working at with your balance right now, or maybe start to bring your hands towards your yogi grip and start to bring that right hand towards your hip. You could also stay here, it's perfect wherever you are. Gently start to kick that leg out if you want more. Staying where you are, or we're extending that right arm and we're taking your gaze to follow. And remember to breathe, don't hold your breath here. Your cores are engaged and you've got that nice strong Tadasana standing leg. Start to bring your right hand towards that toe, and we're just going to switch sides. Move nice and slow with your breath and shift your gaze to follow towards the left. Gently bringing your left hand back to meet that toe. Right hand comes towards that right hip, starting to draw that left knee back in towards you. Gently releasing that yogi bind and just releasing that left leg and just letting it go there. So bringing those feet back towards each other, and on your inhale, we're going to roll up onto those toes. Test your balance. As you exhale, we send it back down. Inhale, back up onto those toes. Exhale, send it back down. This time we're going to raise our arms. Inhale, rise up high and really reach those fingertips. Start to bring your arms so they're now nice and parallel towards your shoulders. Now imagine there's a brick wall behind you, and we're going to slide down that wall, bringing our backs nice and flat. Start to deeply bend your knees. Your heels are still raised as we start to body roll down this wall. We're using your breath. We're inhaling and exhaling fully. And don't forget to smile. It's not that bad. Gently pausing halfway. We're going to hold here for 5, for 4, for 3, for 2, for 1. Continuing your sit bones down, and start to bring your hands towards your mat as you start to bring your seat down towards the floor. Bringing your legs out towards the side, starting to bring your legs nice and straight now. We're going to take one quick forward fold before bringing it back down towards our mat. So it's going to be a nice passive forward fold. So we're just going to realign our spines and just realign our hamstrings. So inhale, grow tall. Exhale, just aim those hands down towards your feet. So there's no bouncing here, guys. We want that chest nice and open. So you could be working here, that's perfectly fine. You can gently start to take it low with all your breath. No tension here, no unchin. When you're ready, just start to surrender your forehead down, just taking a few breaths here. And move with your breath, test it. So on the inhale, an invitation into your body, just take that invitation. On the exhale, you take it, you create that space, and you just gently go deeper within your pose. We're slowing the practice down and start to slow that mind down with it. So gently start to lift your gaze, start to bring it all the way back up to a seated position. However you want to get there, start to bring yourself so you're lying down onto your backs. Extending your legs fully and extending your arms by your sides, coming into your final position, your Savasana position. So releasing any breathing now, that's gone. Start to release any asana practice, that's also gone. Releasing any thoughts and just let yourself rest. So your body's going to download all your hard work from your asana practice. also start to give yourself this little bit of time just to relax here, guys. So letting go of any thoughts that are starting to come through your minds, any to-do lists, let them go. They're not going to serve you for the next few moments. So come from a conscious breath to an unconscious breath now. There's no thoughts in your mind. Practicing non-attachment and just letting them go. Notice the feeling as your body is getting heavier and your body feels light at the same time. You're creating that space within your mind, you're creating that space within your body. And any thoughts, you're just watching them float away like a cloud passes on a sunny day. So you're gently starting to wiggle those fingers and toes, bringing a little bit of life back to that physical body. Beginning to take your arms overhead and just take a large body stretch here like you've just woken up on a brand new day. Bringing those knees in towards you, coming into that small ball. And just gently roll over to your right hand side, just taking a few moments here. So staying on your right hand side for a few moments more for more relaxation. When you're ready, slowly pushing into your left palm and just bringing yourself up to a seated position on your mat. So thank you for joining me today and taking time out of your day to honour your mind, your body and soul. I hope to see you on the mat soon. Namaste.